These conspiracy theories were first spread by radio talk show host Alex Jones. As for billionaire investor George Soros, who does back liberal causes, a spokeswoman for his foundation issued a statement to Vice News that reads in part, quote, George Soros survived the Nazi occupation of Hungary, and he has spent his life supporting efforts to ensure that such terrifying authoritarianism never takes root again. He was 14 years old when the war ended. He did not collaborate with the Nazis. He did not help round up people. He did not confiscate anybody's property.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection. It created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No. Well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets that if I weren't there, somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. And it was whether I was there or not, the property was being taken away. So I had no sense of guilt.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Rarely do we compare somebody to Hitler. Rarely do we compare somebody to the devil. But in the case of George Soros, a listener sent us a sculpture in the mail 2 weeks ago, very nice sculpture, of George Soros as the devil. So I've got it in my office. I think I'm going to move it out of there, though. It's a little bit creepy. Because he went on a 13-minute segment in 1998 of 60 Minutes and said that he was proud of being a Nazi collaborator, essentially. Now, starting about 6, 7 years ago, they would always ban the interview on YouTube. We had copyright strikes, but I challenged YouTube, filed the paperwork, and said, I will sue in court over this. So they withdrew the strike on our account, but would not let us upload it. They've got computer bots that can recognize it by keyword, but also just by the video, and not let us do it. Now we've learned how to get around them by slowing the audio down, speeding it up, putting other video over it, and scrambling it. That's the only way you're able to actually get the video. And it's subtle when you're watching it, but we haven't edited it for content. We've just edited it so that we can get around the bots. That's what we do here. Remember back when we had the Google bomb for a year and a half and we can have the keyword every day? They changed the whole algorithm to block that. We weren't gaming the system. We had enough listeners to go search a term. And back then, they weren't gaming it as much, so you could actually have the top term. If 1 million of our listeners would go and put in a keyword, we could do it anytime we wanted to. Boy, that got their attention. But what's amazing is that CNN would have the nerve to come out yesterday and say that I am a liar. Rob Dew just brought in the sculpture, please. Thank you. Didn't ask for it, but it's perfect timing. We'll thank the listener that sent this to us. It's Eli Hasselman. Now, that said, imagine CNN when it's known for 19 years that George Soros, from 14s when he started to 17, would ferret in because the Jews would trust him. He was a young Jew. Just like child molesters use teenagers to lure kids. They'd think, oh, we can let him know our hidden place. And they gave him money and stuff. He'd bring them food. And then he'd find out what they had. He'd sell them out. They'd get rounded up. He was a Judas goat, Jew. They would send in to find the hidden Jews, to find folks like Anne Frank. That's why he's a hero of liberal Jews and a hero of the ADL. They give him the highest award. And a hero of the left because he's the greatest living Nazi collaborator that that is still around. You're like, that doesn't make sense. These are really twisted, sick people, the left, folks. They're really into evil. They think it's cool. And it's a better joke for them to know he's a Nazi and funds their main operations and has overthrown all these other countries and had nothing but an evil history after overthrowing Ukraine. overthrowing many nations of the Middle East with the Arab Spring, putting the radical Muslims in that enslave the women, throw the gays off buildings, blow up the churches. This is a very, very sick, ruthless guy, but he's their bad guy hero. That's why in the last James Bond movie, it's based on him and the Quantum Group as the main group funding Spectre, funding both sides of every major war. British intelligence helped write the script, and they admit that's George Soros, and the Quantum Group is the name of his main fund. So he's a literal James Bond villain. And Anderson Cooper of the Central Intelligence Agency, that's admitted, went on television and said that we made all this up. And that we made it up that some of the leadership of the so-called New Right turns out to actually work for the Democrats. So here is a clip from Anderson Cooper going beyond any level of fake news ever seen before. I mean, he is going where no man has dared to go before. Here it is.
As disgusting as both rallies were, there is something else that caught our eye when it posted this past Friday. It's the claim that the August protest, the one that killed Ms. Heyer, was some sort of left-wing plot. Now, who, you might ask, would say something so offensive and disgusting as that? Some shock jock radio personality, maybe? No, an elected representative who's serving right now in the U.S. Congress. Here he is, two-term Arizona Congressman Paul Gosar. Now, here's exactly what the congressman said to Vice News correspondent Ellie Reeve.
Let's look at the person that actually started the rally. It's come to our attention that this is a person from Occupy Wall Street that was an Obama sympathizer. So wait a minute, be careful on where you start taking these people to. And look at the background. George Soros is one of those people that actually helps, back these individuals. Who is he? I think he's from Hungary. I think he was Jewish, and I think he turned in his own people to the Nazis. We better be careful of where we go with those.
Do you think George Soros funded the neo-Nazis who marched in Charlottesville?
Wouldn't it be interesting to find out?
Again, that was Republican Arizona Congressman Paul Gosar. This man, keeping him honest, does he have proof? No, nothing. In other words, it's a false flag. He's spreading an insulting and disgusting conspiracy theory. One that's been swiftly...
Cooper, it turns out all three leaders, we've had two of them on, of the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally were Democrats just a year ago and have all this financing. So you're saying it's a disgusting lie. No, it's not. It's a fact. But you don't even show any proof we're lying. You just say we're lying. But now he tells the Whopper that I made up that Soros was a Nazi collaborator. Here it is.
By many. We asked Congressman Gosar to come on the program tonight. His office declined. We told him it's an open invitation. We got no reply. These conspiracy theories were first spread by radio talk show host Alex Jones. The rally in August was organized by Jason Kessler, who said he voted for President Obama and attended one Occupy event. But he also says he became disenchanted with the Obama administration. And in addition to organizing that hate-filled Charlottesville rally, has, according to Vice News, spent time on YouTube railing against what he called white genocide. He's certainly a charmer. As for billionaire investor George Soros, who does back liberal causes, a spokeswoman for his foundation issued a statement to Vice News that reads in part, quote, George Soros survived the Nazi occupation of Hungary, and he has spent his life supporting efforts to ensure that such terrifying authoritarianism never takes root again. He was 14 years old when the war ended. He did not collaborate with the Nazis. He did not help round up people. He did not confiscate anybody's property. Joining me now is Ellie Reeve. She's the Vice News reporter who did that interview with Congressman Gosar, and who was also at the original rally in Charlottesville, who did such amazing reporting.
That's good. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the type of garbage they engage in, and they go on to blame me and the rest of it. So here's the headline. CNN claims Alex Jones fabricated Soros Nazi ties. But then we have the whole 12.5-minute interview from 60 Minutes posted in the article where he goes into how he helped round the people up. And I just played the clip earlier. Later in the transmission today, I'm going to air the entire 60 Minutes piece for you so you can see it unedited for yourself. But then when we upload it to YouTube or Facebook, I don't even think we're going to scramble it to get around the box. I think this is where I should follow suit. If they want to say I'm a liar and he didn't do this interview, and it's clearly fair use to have a right to expose what this public figure did, and they try to claim that I don't have a right to show you what he said, but then say I'm a liar, then I think under the First Amendment, we've got a lawsuit we're going to win. And I don't want to sue people. But, man, they're censoring us more and more. so they can build a straw man and say things we never said and then not let us show you what we really said. And I'm getting tired of it. But again, it's not about InfoWars. It's about truth tellers. And if you're a truth teller, these people come after you. And they want to shut you up because they're a pack of liars. Shame on Anderson Cooper and all these people for being collaborators with a real Nazi. Wow.
Survival Shield X2 Nascent Iodine. If you're interested in healthy thyroid, if you're interested in well-being, if you're interested in having a higher IQ, which this has been linked to, get your powerful Survival Shield X2 at InfoWarsStore.com.